I made it. See, the
Welcome.
problem with my new setup is I have to go across the room to press record where my laptop is, make it back in 5 seconds.
You
And
did it.
it's not the travel part. It's maneuvering between the microphone stand and the stool I'm on to make sure I don't knock anything over or catch my balls at one of the
No.
stands, you know.
Or fall off the stool.
That could happen too because I'm on a cushion and
hmm
I could slide off at any moment.
Speaking of your balls, have you had any issues since that big issue?
No, thank you for asking. I'm aware of what prevents the situation occurring, so I make sure that we.
Oh
The
my
biggest thing
God.
actually, the biggest thing was moving to sleeping on my back.
Mm,
I think
okay.
that was a big cause of instigating the issue.
Well, I'm glad you have your precautions.
Hey, you got to. I'm not going through that again. And I didn't want to get surgery, so we'll leave it as it is.
All right. Well, since we went to that body part, that's now reminding me of Ben likes to pose these strange questions. And this morning he was like, if Alexander's life depended on it, would you get a sex change? And I was like, I mean, instantly I'm like, yes, of course. Like if his life depended on it, it's a no-brainer. And then as it's sinking in, and I was like, there's no logic that can be applied to any of this because I don't even want to think about doing that. But like I know I would do it. um, but that was how we did this morning. And then he asked his mother, who is 75. She's like, I'm 75. Like, what do I care? So would you have a sex change if your child's life depended on it?
No, I would not, and I would. I mean, to me, that would mean my life was over. So I would just go scorched earth to wherever, go Liam Neeson, Taken, get my kid back. Um,
All right. All right. Well, it was a question I never thought my brain would have to ponder, so I'm sharing it with you and with everybody.
I mean, it's a very interesting question, and I'm thrilled that that's the kind of conversations that are happening
This is
in
We
the
don't just
household.
talk about the weather.
Well, it's a big concern coming up.
It
You
is.
know what else people talk a lot about?
Well,
Money.
money is one of the top reasons for divorce.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually why someone comes to me for coaching because
True.
they want to make more money.
Yeah.
And it is a taboo conversation as much as we are surrounded by money. There is a lot of guilt and shame and all sorts of feelings that are attached to money. And even for myself, I was kind of the mindset, well, I'm not a financial advisor. I have a financial advisor. Um, who am I to talk about money? And then I started realizing like just the mindset around money and the stories
Yeah.
that we have around money, even though you hear about it, especially as a coach, we talk about like money is the root of all evil, money doesn't grow on trees, all the things we're told from childhood. So I was like, man, this is like it doesn't matter how much money someone's making if they don't have the right kind of story and have an understanding around all of these things that money brings, then it doesn't matter how much money they have. It's either going to come in and go out or they're going to just be in scarcity. And I, experienced that um, recently. So yeah, so we're talking about money today.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this conversation. There's so many different tangents we're going to go on. I just know it. We'll try and keep it succinct, but there really is, like you said, it's a taboo subject. I think the way 99% of people think about money is completely wrong, and it's not their fault. They've been
Mm,
conditioned to think that way. I don't like to use the word brainwash. They've been conditioned to think a certain way about money because money really only benefits the top 0.5% of the population. They're the ones who actually benefit from money. The
mm,
rest of the population are slaves to it.
mm,
Um, and
Wow, we gotta unpack
ref-
that.
reframing how you feel and think about money, which is something I worked hard on the last few years, and still it's very easy to get caught up in all of it. um, it really changes your perspective on an outlook on just everyday life, and it's a much more less stressful place to be. I can speak firsthand on that. So yeah, I think people really need to reconsider what they actually know and think about money, because it's really an instrument for harnessing energy. You know, we exchange time for money for the most part,
Mhm.
and all money has energy. And there's some scenarios I'll walk people through that will really kind of blow your mind a little bit. Like, oh wow, yeah, we're all fucked.
Well, yeah, it's energy. The energy that you have, the vibration that you have around money is going to be the level that you're operating at. I view money as a tool.
Yeah,
Um, if you're just a shitty person, and really, I don't believe most people are shitty people. And if the shitty people, I'm sure if we dug deep, there'd be a lot of reasons there. But if you're just not a good person, you're just money is only going to exacerbate that,
mm,
right? If you're a good person, and I believe most people are, money's only good for the good it does.
yeah,
So if you're a good person and money flows to you, you're just going to do more good in the world. The challenge is a lot of good people view money as guiltiness, or rich people are bad, and so like subconsciously they're operating and either basically shunning money away from them, or when it does come in it's going out so fast because
yeah,
of all these stories. And money, I think you said this, money, it's fake, it's made up.
yeah. It's not real.
It's a made up thing. um and I would even say, when we talk about, oh well, I'm wealthy because my family's healthy, how many people say that, right? But do you really believe that? So becomes more of a conversation about, what does wealth look like? Do you believe that being wealthy is something that's good?
Yeah,
um Or we go back to like, well, only the top 5% of people in this whole world benefit from money. Well, we all benefit from money. We all benefit from the use of money. It's just a matter of like, are we mastering our mindset around money, or is money basically mastering us? Does the man wear the clothes, or do the clothes wear the man?
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so have really been focused, and we have been focused on taking these big topics and having a conversation like just two normal people. Neither of us are financial advisors or planners, or I guess this is the disclaimer right here. Um, but I'm like, what can we do for ourselves and for our audience to do very quick awareness checks? Like, where's the reality check? Where are we at right now? And then we either going to move up the accountability ladder or down the accountability ladder in everything that we do. So, what's one quick action? What's one powerful question? What's one thought? Things that take a minute, 30 seconds to maybe 3 minutes, that people can do right now today. It's now a tool for them, because we all already have inside us everything that we need. Like, everything
Yeah,
we need for the rest of our life is already inside of us. Now, we might need to develop it. We might need to learn how to tune into it. We might need to learn how to understand it. But we already have everything that we need. You are already whole, healthy, and complete.
right.
So, with money, it starts like, what's your money story? How did you
Yeah,
grow up?
that and I think what what you place value. A lot of it does tie back to how you grew up, but
Mhm,
what you place value on, what do you want to, what do you spend your money on?
mhm,
Is it
mhm.
more important to you to have, you know, a wardrobe full of clothes, or always fresh every season, you're updating and you're always got a different look? Or are you like me, where you want to have some nice clothes, but I spend a very small percentage of my income on clothing?
Yeah.
I would rather spend my money on things that save me time.
Mhm,
um I shop at grocery stores that are marginally more expensive than a traditional, ShopRite or Stop and Shop,
mm,
for the most part, because of convenience and experience. I'd
mhm,
rather go somewhere that is nicer to shop, less people around, I can find someone who will help me if I need it. They
Mhm.
have all the stuff I need. There's never, they rarely run out of stuff. And it's closer to my house. So I don't have to spend an extra
Yeah.
10, 20 minutes. And I think you talk about this a lot, particularly in coaching. You may not have said it so much on here, but, what is your time worth?
Mhm.
And are you spending that time wisely? And then thinking about the way you spend money against that time.
Yeah.
If going to the grocery store, for example, costs you an hour of your time and your hour is worth $100,
Mhm.
is it not more economical and more sensible to pay someone like an Instacart to go and do that shopping for you?
Whole
Or to
delivery.
spend
Point.
an extra $20 going to a store that is going to save you half an hour?
Yeah.
You're still making $30 essentially.
Mhm.
Um, and I know I completely hijacked your train of thought there, but
No, not
it
at
came to
all.
me.
What again, I'll go back to what people normally come to coaching for. Either you have enough time, but not enough money. Right? You've got the
Yeah.
time that you can pour in, do the sweat equity and get stuff done, but you don't have enough money. You need to start monetizing it. And most people are about 5 to 10% away from actually monetizing the activities that they're doing. They just
Yeah.
never finish that last 5 or 10%. And they typically end up giving up or they're off to the next thing. Or you have not enough time because you're busy and you've got plenty of money, but now you need leverage through systems and people.
Yeah.
So it's typically one or the other. And we start talking about, yes, what is your time worth? And if you're paid by the hour or you're on a salary, you can kind of figure that out. But if you're an entrepreneur like us, look at when I'm doing my most dollar productive activities, what am I making? Right? What is
Yeah.
my time worth? And where does it make sense to leverage this? Because then we go to the whole non-money thing. What's my time freedom? Like that's wealth, us being able to pick up our children from school when we need to, that's time wealth. That's relationship wealth.
Yeah.
That's beyond that. Now it takes money to be able to do that. Whether the money is coming from you or you're in a life where you have a partner who's paying for things and you don't have to worry about that part of it, but you pick up something else. It's so funny. I'm getting messages about money coming through
Ha,
from the Instagram. I'm so amazed to see how much people engage with this, especially when they can do it privately, especially when they can do it with someone who's not a financial advisor. I think that there's like
yeah.
this open to it. Um, but what you're saying is 100% right. I mean, I do Whole Foods delivery. It costs me
Yeah.
$10 a month for unlimited free delivery. Now, I tip the person $7 to $10 typically. And you have to, do $35 or more in a thing, and which is very easy. People have a someone gets somewhere we're handed things, through our life and we take it on as the truth. And I'll do this even with Whole Foods. People are often shocked, like, oh my gosh, the produce was actually cheaper than ShopRite
Yeah.
or Stop and Shop. But they have it in their mind that like, oh, that's a luxury to shop there. Like, oh, you're
Yeah.
you're you're too good. I mean, all this crazy stuff that comes with it. When the truth is, I typically buy the stuff when it's on sale, and the produce that's organic tends to be cheaper. And don't even go down this road, which I know you can speak on. When someone's like, it's too expensive to buy organic, it's too expensive to buy
Hmm.
coffee that doesn't have mold in it. It's too Unfortunately, we're in a healthcare system that if you are fortunate enough to have really good insurance, you don't actually see a lot of those costs. But the cost monetarily to be in the hospital or be sick, priceless.
Yeah.
The relationship and your time and your location freedom, if you're sick and you're stuck at home or you're stuck in a hospital bed, you can't tell me you wouldn't have spent an extra $10,000 over a lifetime or over
Yeah.
10 years on organic food or sourcing something where you weren't looking at, oh, this is a class 1 carcinogen. Okay, maybe I shouldn't put that in my body.
Yeah. I mean, it's like people who won't buy direct from a farm because the meat's that one, not your
Yeah.
topic of choice here, but because it's too expensive. But to your point, are you going to be on your deathbed when you could have lived another 10 years, saying, "Oh, I wish I'd. I'm glad I saved that the $5 a pound or whatever it is. It's not
Yeah.
even that much. That dollar a pound. It's just, yeah. Don't get me started
You'll
on
be lucky to be
people
on your
spend.
deathbed at that point. Like,
Yeah. And you know,
That's
so,
when
and
death
here's
is welcome. It's the suffering that happens in all of the
yeah.
years where all of your joints hurt, and you're foggy minded, and dementia and all the other things that come in.
Here's something that's really interesting, and I think this will hopefully help people reframe where they allocate their money to. And again, I've just come from someone who's, you know, again, I've said on the last episode, I'm nowhere near where I would like to be or where someone my age should be in terms of what I have put aside and what all of that stuff because I gambled in my 20s and 30s in the music industry and real estate and now investing in myself with health and so I'm not where I want to be. So I take this with a pinch of salt. And I think, like you said, because we're not advisors,
Yes.
there's a bit of vulnerability to that people because people do feel shamed about money. It's a very interesting thing. But in terms of health, my belief is that the majority, if not all, of the disease we see in the world, including cancer,
Mm-hmm.
is preventable.
Mm-hmm.
There is really no such thing as genetic illnesses. Case in point, they just did a study on MS
Mm-hmm.
where they took identical twins or just twins. So you can't say that there's a difference in genetics there. And one had MS, one did not. They tested their gut microbiome and found a common link between all of the people with MS that they were missing or had bacteria that the people who didn't have MS did or didn't have.
Yeah.
So, case in point, you could think, oh well, if I save a little bit at the grocery store by getting the non-organic stuff, but then you're filling yourself with pesticides and poisons, you could end up having bad health down the line. And to your earlier point, what's the cost of that?
Right.
You can't work to support your family and all of that stuff. So it's really I see people wasting, and I get this a lot because of the pushback. Not pushback's not the right word, but the hesitance to spend money on functional testing and
Mm-hmm.
labs and stuff like that, or even coaching with someone like myself
Mm-hmm.
because of the price. But again, what's the cost of getting by? I know a lot of very unhealthy people that could really use the help I can give them, but they're not taking it. Where are they going to be in 10 years? And looking back, I said, oh, I wish I'd spent that $5,000 that I know I have.
Yeah.
'Cause I wouldn't notice it was gone,
Yep.
but I don't put value on that. And it's to your point earlier as well. Money is a tool. It's not something that it's that scarcity abundance mindset, right? It's like, oh, I better stash this money away and just in case and all of this. And yes, you should have some kind of fund set aside. I've been in positions where I've had to go and ask for help from family because, you know, my funds ran out and I was in between work and all of that stuff. So again, I'm saying this from someone who's not perfect with money, but most of the time when you've got money set aside, it devalues every year because of inflation. You
And
have a
there is no
thousand dollars
perfect.
in the bank right now, and you don't have it in a vehicle that's keeping up with inflation or
Mhm.
you know, outpacing it,
Mhm.
you're losing the value of that money. Invested in something that's going to pay back, and that could be your health. That
Yeah.
could be into your business, coaching with someone like you that's going to get a return on that money.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it sound like we're just doing this topic now to get people to invest in coaching or invest in themselves, but to me, I've always found that to be the biggest ROI. And you might not immediately see that return, but in 10, 20 years, you will.
Yeah. And with the right coach, you are gonna see within 3 months a
Yeah,
return.
you can. Yeah.
But I mean, you'll see a return mentally very quickly, and then monetarily. A good coach should absolutely be paying for themselves. Anyone you have around you should be paying for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's gonna take a different way to look at it. 2 things that for you and I, and I'm so sorry, my phone is ringing. Um, 1, you and I have to work through something live for a second. Um, 2, dang it, what the heck was it? Dang it. Oh, when I was working in the medical group doing their
Hmm.
executive coaching, corporate coaching, it was really in Newark and Oranges and in areas where money is really a challenge for a lot of people. And then you have these food deserts, and this is a whole other podcast. You have these food deserts of like anywhere you can actually go and get fresh produce, but you've got fast food on every single corner. So of course, I think about a mom, right? I'm a mom of 3. I have $25 to feed my family tonight if I have that. am I going to go to the grocery store and buy $7 head of organic broccoli? Or am I going to go through one of the multitude of drive-throughs that's going to give me a family pack of dinner for 15.99 and four sodas? You know, four soda,
Right.
super size sodas, because of all the government subsidies that make cheap dairy and meat cheap. It's not that it's inexpensive, it's because it's subsidized by our tax
Hmm.
dollars. And thank God they just took, the requirement of milk having to go on every single lunch tray. That was a requirement. Um,
And by the way, it was shit milk, which
it,
they thankfully
again,
undone too.
so we're talking about quality difference. You and I have different avenues that we go down when it comes to eating animals and things like that. But even when you say about buying locally, I am a proponent of that. I am not
Yeah.
under some guise that everyone, we're gonna have this utopia of nobody eating meat. I'm not even saying that my way is the right way. It's the right way for me. But when I hear you say that, I'm like, yes, if this is what you're going to choose to do, please support the local farmer. Please support the some where there's some animal husbandry involved, where
Yeah.
there's a conscious thought, because this is all consciousness and it's all energy. And whatever you
Hmm.
are putting in your body, you are consuming at that level of consciousness. And you don't have to love animals to know that there is a major difference between a massive intensive feeding operation
Yeah.
where they are growing Frankenstein animals to grow as big as they can, as fast as they can with the food that they're eating them and the modified genetics, versus your local farmer who is thinking about what they're feeding their animals, thinking about how their animals are living and being treated, even thinking about the process of slaughter, right? So
Yeah.
a whole other conversation. Um
Well, it's not really even another conversation because it does go to money and energy. Like, where do you put your money? Because that's you giving your energy to something that is not right or is cruel.
right.
I'm a big believer in, I over tip, and part of that's because I got shamed into it when I first moved here. But my feeling is I just want to put good energy into the world. It's not about the dollar for me.
Yeah.
It's about putting good energy out and being kind to someone who, and sometimes I think, if everybody tipped the same as me, this person makes more than I do.
Yes.
But it is what it is. And some of the charitable things that I do and where I give money to, that's all. It's just putting good energy out, and it's
Yeah.
not about the amount. It could be $5-10 a month to a cause you believe in, and it's not, do it quietly. No one needs to know. Just do it. And there's a few of these that I do,
Or don't do it
and it's
quietly. Post it on Facebook. Hey, I give to this charity every single month and I think you
yeah.
should too. You do it however, like, just do it is the point.
Yeah, but don't do it for the clout of doing it. Do it because
Mm,
you believe in it. And
yes.
it's about putting good energy out, because energy flows back to you and good karma comes back to you, and money will flow to you if you put good clean money out into the
Yes.
world.
And that requires a mindset of abundance and that there's
Yeah,
enough, instead of a mindset of scarcity, which so many people go into. Um, Ben's mom is visiting. We were doing birthday presents last night, and she was saying, like, gosh, I grew up in a household where we reused the wrapping paper, right? And this
right.
is a product of parents that lived through the World War and the Depression, and they were very frugal, and I think they probably passed on a lot of money to the family. So again, what they were doing did end up resulting in a manner of wealth. It was just how they lived their life. um and that could pose, like, is it better to die with a whole bunch of money that you are able to share with your family and then, like, struggle? But did they even view that they were struggling? Or they just as like,
Yeah.
if a nail came out and it was a little bit bent, she's like, oh, we should throw this out. No, I can straighten that out. So then it's part of it is also being aware about what you're just wasting and being frivolous about, versus frivolous and frugal are two different things.
Yes, there's wasteful, and then there's
Yes.
being thoughtful.
Yes. So again, the money story. And before we go there, you and I have to work on your I am statement that I keep hearing you say, I am not where I want to be. So, is there an I am statement we can reframe that sounds similar, but is maybe more empowering?
I am working towards where I want to be.
Yes. Okay.
How's
So
that?
much better. And that's the truth. Is that the truth?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in and again, it's not about how much you make. Like where I work now,
Mhm.
and you know, for my day job, I love it. I love the people I work with. That gives me good energy. It's not all about what your salary. You see so many people locked into jobs that they absolutely hate. They're
Yeah,
miserable, away from home all the time, don't have enough time to see their kids. I think back to what you said last week about God, like how great is this that I get to pick my kid up from school?
yeah,
And I generally would not take. It was a consideration and something. It was a condition of me starting this job. Was like I have to take my kids to school in the morning,
yeah.
partly because of it's not easy to find people that can handle Braden.
Mhm.
But on the other part, like this, a really important part. It's a really important part of my day to do that. It makes me feel good.
Yeah. And that time is finite.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a day when the kids aren't going to school anymore, right? And like,
yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah. All right. Should we go back to, well, should we move on from the story of money? And that's gonna be, go to Instagram, either one of us, because typically you're sharing my reels too. You can go through what's going to be the 7 days of money conversation,
Yeah,
but it starts with a story, and there's some prompts in there. um just how do you view money, right? And let's start there. Let's get just like that accountability. Where are we starting from? And then we have to look at safety, right? Like, a lot of people do not feel safe when it comes to talking about money, when it comes to the
yeah,
money that they have. There's a tremendous amount of stress. Where does the money coming from? Um, this is one of my favorite ones. And it's not favorite, but I witnessed this with my mom. She had money that came from my stepdad, and then my grandmother and my aunt, who died, passed away from cancer, and then my aunt passed away from complications with dialysis. My mom, just being, an amazing stay-at-home mom, always the caregiver, took care of my stepdad, took care of my grandmother, but my mom always felt like she never did enough, right? And so when they died, and that equaled her getting money, she spent that money not because she was like, "Woohoo, I'm gonna go shopping sprees." There was so much guilt tied to that money. It was like, I have to get rid of this
yeah,
because this is representing, like, I wasn't a good enough daughter. I wasn't a good enough sister. Like, I wasn't, I didn't do something. So I saw she was very generous, and it wasn't like she was being selfish, but there was so much guilt attached to that money. And now we're in a position where I financially, take care of a big chunk of stuff for her because she did not set herself up for financial success. She was never taught it. She never had to do it. Um, and there was a lot of guilt around it. And then there's guilt, and there's also the, if you didn't have the habits to earn that money, you probably won't have the habits to keep that money. So that's where w- we all just need to learn better, and
yeah,
have places where we can understand how money actually functions and how to make money work for us.
yeah, definitely. You know, and part of my mentality is I don't ever see myself retiring. I
Mhm,
enjoy being productive. I want to be in a position where I can choose what I want to do when I want to do it.
mhm,
But yeah, I don't. You'll get me started on a tangent here, but I think a large proportion of saving for retirement is a big scam
mm,
because a lot of people make a lot of money on that shit,
mhm.
and it's not the people who are putting the money away. Now, for the most part, those funds do outpace inflation, so it's just a safe place to park it. But
18%.
you,
Right now, I've been
you,
getting 18% return.
yeah, but you could invest that in other vehicles or other education or coaching or
Yeah.
consulting or whatever, or in your health, and
Mhm,
it would be a better investment.
mhm.
I think
Or
people
do
are
all
very
of it.
yeah, but people are very scared of money because of that safety aspect, for
Yes.
sure. And I keep meaning to kind of say this, or it may be completely out of place, but just for everybody to get their heads around how money is not real.
Hmm,
Let's say I buy something from you for $100.
mhm,
Now, if we were using cash, it would be totally fine because I would give you $100 note. You would go and spend that somewhere else. That $100 always stays $100.
mhm,
But now with cards,
mhm.
what a lot of people don't think about is business owners do because you get that hit of like, oh, I've got $100. No, you have whatever it is, 97.50 because they
Right.
take a 2.5% off the top. So now that $100 is 98.50. You go and spend that. You have to make up the 250. So it's not
Mhm.
$100 anymore. It's 98.50. You go and spend it somewhere else, and that keeps dwindling down.
Mhm.
Eventually, after about 10 transactions or whatever, however many it is, 50 transactions,
Mhm.
that $100 doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Mm.
It's gone into the ether.
Yeah. Yep.
Why are you stressing about it? It
Yes.
doesn't exist. It's not
Right.
real.
Right. And we'll go back to it's just energy.
It really is.
It's just energy. Um, Going back to safety, if I'm talking super logical, there is a number that you having it saved or in the bank or somewhere accessible where your nervous system kind of is like, okay, we're okay. Right? Like if the shit hit the fan tomorrow, we've got 3 months in reserves.
Right.
In order to get to that number, though, it means you have to look at actually how much you're spending. You have to look at, I'm not saying put yourself on a budget, I'm saying know your budget. What is it when you're just out freely doing your life? What does that cost you? Most people don't look at that. They don't even know what's going out, right? That's why we have these apps that can go in and like find out how many subscriptions you're paying for. You know, you're paying for $400 in subscriptions that you're not even
Yeah.
using. Um, so getting to a place of just sitting down and really going, what do I spend where? Whether you're looking at your credit card statements or just grab a piece of paper or go to chat gpt and have it build you out a category list of all possible expenses, and you start going, oh my god, I forgot about this, oh my gosh, I forgot about this, and really looking at what does it take to function for you on a monthly basis, and then what is the number that you have sitting somewhere that's accessible, whether it's in a safe in your house or in a bank account or whatever it is, that you go, I'm okay. Because when people get desperate, we see this in sales all of the time, especially in real estate, we call it commission breath. When there's no cushion, when there's no backup, when there's no reserve, the desperation that comes with how am I going to pay my mortgage, my rent, buy groceries, whatever it might be, spills over into your professional life, and then you become the person that nobody wants to work with. So now you've got this horrible double-edged sword and a very vicious cycle. So there is a number where someone's going
Yeah.
to feel safe, and that's different for everybody. But digging into
Yeah.
that a bit and finding out where that number is so that your nervous system can be operating at a regulated state, which is then going to in turn have you vibrating at a higher level, which is then in turn going to attract more money and more goodness. It's, we have to start somewhere.
Yeah. 100% true. And it really just comes down to prioritizing in all areas where your money goes.
Hmm.
Because if it's, and I think I touched on it earlier, the reciprocality of it, you know, I'm telling you, if, and it's not just about money too, it's just just putting all of your energy, all of your frequencies into the universe. It comes back to you.
Hmm.
Um, there's been countless times where I thought, oh fuck, this is it. You know, what am I going to do now? And something comes up
Yeah.
because of everything, you know, and it's help where you can with other people because that again comes back to you. If you've only got $20 left in your checking account and you know you got direct debit coming out of $10 for that charity you uh you donate to, let it happen.
Yeah.
Figure out you know how can you survive on that $10.
Yep.
Um, it's amazing again when you stop placing so much importance on the currency.
Well, that's why these coaches and people out here, they're like, don't drink your Starbucks every day. Like that's their mindset is go to like you're spending it. Listen, I get it. Logically, it makes sense. If you're spending, let's call it $10 just for evenness, 5 or 6 days a week, that's $60 a week times four. That's $240 a month. I get it on coffee, but we're tackling the wrong thing. You can never deprive yourself of enough Starbucks or enough of your daily thing to make your life financially wealthy and
Yeah.
rich. And a matter of fact, that mindset of I can't afford that, that's a luxury, instead of saying, how do I put myself in a position where I can have my $7 Starbucks
Mm.
every day? We are cutting ourselves off at the knees by already going and like okay, take it away. You're selfish, you're greedy to want that. And then that's a whole conversation of when
Yeah.
someone's like, "Well, why do you need a new BMW?" Well, I don't need it, but I want it.
Well, and there is, again, you gotta, everybody's position is different, and what kind of risks you can take. But
Mhm,
even something like the Starbucks,
mhm,
I love a grande nitro there.
mhm.
It's the only thing I drink there, but I get it. And I've cut down on how much I was going to Starbucks, because you do start thinking, fuck me,
Right.
I'm spending a lot of money here.
Yes.
But I get it a few times a week, and part of it is the mentality of, like you said, if you restrain yourself from getting something so much,
Mhm.
you're always going to be in that scarcity mindset, and that's going to trickle out into your output.
Yeah.
if
And you
i'm if i'm going to Starbucks, I'm that means I'm feeling good, I'm feeling confident, I know that I'm going to go out and kill something, not
mhm.
literally, but
Yeah,
and just, and
or
speaking
literally.
ancestrally, I'm going to bring back more today than that cost me. I'm not even going to notice that $6, because I'm
Yeah,
going to go and sell this, or I'm going to go and generate this for the company I
yeah.
work for, and that kind of mentality. And same with the BMW. James Smith, actually, who's part owner of that Newtonics there, he talked about this when he went and got a Porsche
Mhm.
GT3,
Mm,
and he said, I could buy it cash, but I'm financing it because I want to feel that every month coming out, because that means I'm going to go out and I have to make more than that every month to
yeah.
make sure that that's covered.
Yep.
And there is something to, and again, you got to work that line of too much risk, but there is something to just living within your means, but
Mhm.
maybe allocating a bit more to something that you like most people would find irresponsible, but it
Yeah.
actually drives you
Be a little uncomfortable.
to,
Yeah.
yeah,
A little uncomfortable with a huge smile on your face. Uh,
yeah,
you can only cut so much, but there's so much abundance in this world. I'll walk into Short Hills Mall, where we are in New Jersey, we have Short Hills Mall. You walk in and, there's Bentleys and Porsche and everything, just inside, people walking
yeah,
around. And I'm in there, right? And the cheap stores are Nordstrom and Macy's. Everything else is Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Rolex, Breitling, names, Hermes, all that.
yeah,
I'm walking and there are literally lines outside of Cartier, lines outside of Tiffany's, lines outside of Rolex for people to get in. And I don't look at it and go, "Oh my God, these people, like everyone's just spending all this money." I look at it, I'm like, there's so much money in this world. There's so
mhm,
much that these stores where you can't even spend less than $1,000 on a pen, there's lines. So
yeah,
that's where I go, like, if these people have it, that's awesome for them. It's also me, I can have it. Like this, and I've been in those lines before and I've gone in and purchased things. Now it's on the rare occasion. I'm not doing it every single weekend. Um, but it's just this proof to me that there is so much abundance in this world.
yeah,
And money is part of that abundance. And if that has no meaning for you and no value to you, and you look at the person that can be home all day and take care of the household and their kids, but they can't necessarily go shopping like that, but that person is fulfilled and happy and they're walking down the street with a big smile on their face. Like that's an abundance and wealth that a lot of us don't get. So like it's it's all okay. None of it is wrong. You just have to be willing to have a honest conversation with yourself about what is truly most important to me. And how does my money, how does my time, and how does my energy support what it is I want?
yeah. I love that. I was gonna say we've got to wrap up. Let's hit the home run, and you just did that. I think if people can take away anything from this, it's just to rethink what you consider to be money in general. Like, really think about that. We didn't even talk about the Titanic. You heard that story?
Mm-mm.
So they were trying to set up the Federal Reserve, and there were three wealthy families that wouldn't wouldn't agree to it. Guess who happened to be on the Titanic?
The three wealthy
Those three,
families.
yeah. JP Morgan was another one. He financed the Titanic, conveniently didn't get on the Titanic. And
Mm,
then they set the Federal Reserve up, which is just a printing machine for money, right? And my whole point on that is it's just made up. It really is. Now we've got to play the game.
mhm.
We're in the game, so we've got to play by the rules. But rethinking what you consider to be money and why you've put so much focus on it will really help you reframe these things. And I think the biggest message uh, is the abundance factor. Don't think that this is just it.
Yeah.
Don't live scared.
No. And, I put something out, I think it was about Porsche or something, and I got a comment back, like, basically, like, why would you even want something like this when there's people like suffering and starving and all of like this inequality? And it's like, that's the mindset. I understand where that person's coming from. But if we keep attacking each other because we view wealth or money as bad or wanting as bad or greedy, when there's other things that we can be doing in the world with it, like we're just feeding into this horrible vicious cycle of power and control. And that's not benefit. No one should be shamed for how they are choosing to be in this world. If you believe you are coming from a good place and you are a good person and you are doing good, then shout it from the rooftops, show others how to do it, and live your best lives. And that is the way that everyone else will follow or not follow, or
Yeah, and
be supported
to
or
that
not
point,
supported.
you know, if you were to buy that Porsche, you generated that income by helping other people,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's to help them make more money or to help them with the suffering they were going through.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a reward for it. Goes back to the conversation we had with Fred and why I
Yeah.
really love his mindset on buying nice things and that kind of thing. It's just a reward for doing good
Yeah.
and helping others, and that's totally fine. And it comes back to accountability for me that we should all take care of our family
Mm-hmm.
and then worry about the outside, then worry about your neighbors, and then worry about, it keeps going out from there. I think we've been brainwashed into this idea that, or conditioned, I shouldn't use that word,
Mm-hmm.
conditioned to think that everybody has to help everybody.
Yeah.
When there's help available for a lot of people, there's some just choose not to take it, or that, look at all the fraud with Snap and all of this stuff. There's money out there to help people, but it's being misused and mistreated. So
Yeah.
focus on you and your family first, and then expand from there.
Yeah. And then good is always going to have a ripple effect. It's
Yeah.
always going to have a ripple effect. And bad's going to have a ripple effect too. So we just have to make sure that the good is shining the light on it. And any one time someone wants to squelch it, that means they're trying to put darkness around it. And I won't allow that. Like my job, your job, our job in this world is to keep shining light in the darkest places. And it takes energy to do that. And part of that energy is money. So take a deep breath. Think about what your money story is. Get a reality check of like where things are for you right now. Look at your financials. I know it's scary. You don't have to do it all at once. Just go check your bank account today, or just go look at your credit card balance today. Just one little small thing, and connect with us. Start chipping away and fund the life that you want to live. And put the energy out that you want back, because it will come back to you tenfold, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Until next time, friends. Bye for now.